Welcome to this episode of Political Adda. In this episode, we will be taking up this question: why is Dera Sacha Sauda chief Gurmeet Ram Rahim Singh, a rape and murder convict, getting special attention from our political class? Because the frequency of his release, either on parole or on furlough, is pretty amazing. In the past 1 year, he has been released at least 4 times, Chitleen, if I'm not wrong.
In 14 months, in the past 14 months, correct.
So we are here to discuss why it is happening. What does it tell us about Punjab and Haryana politics? With me here today is my colleague in Chandigarh, Chitleen Sethi, who has been covering Punjab and Haryana politics for over 2 decades. Joining us as our special guest is Dr. Pramod Kumar, Director of the Institute for Development and Communication, Chandigarh. So coming to you, Chitleen, first. Is it a special treatment that Gurmeet Ram Rahim Singh is getting from the government in Haryana?
Actually, there are 2 ways of looking at it. The first thing is that he was convicted for 2 rapes in 2017. Then 2019 he was convicted for a murder. Then 2021 he was convicted for a second murder. So he's a convict of 2 murders and 2 rapes. As part of, he has been trying to get parole for since the time he has been in jail, and the first 1 year sentence period was over. But he was denied parole most of the times. In fact, he just got a single day parole twice to see his ailing mother. In 2022, after he had completed some minimum mandatory period of his sentence, he was granted furlough for 21 days, a 3-week furlough, which is allowed. It is actually a leave period. It is not counted. It is counted as part of the sentence, and he took that leave. But that was just ahead of the Punjab Assembly polls. Mm-hmm. Then the same year, he got a 30-day parole in June. This is a regular parole. And then another 40-day parole in October. So this is, he's got 2 paroles and 1 furlough last year. And this year, beginning of this calendar year, he's already got a 40-day parole starting on January 21st. I don't think, as far as the rules go, so there's this act, which is the Good Conduct Business Act, which lays down the conditions in which parole is given. He has been granted parole. It is up to the government to deny it, and the government, especially the local administration, has to take a call whether a parole can be given or not. And in many cases, paroles are not given; they are denied. But in the past, almost for 1.5 years, the Haryana government, no doubt, has been very liberal in granting him parole. In fact, they have granted him all the parole that he's allowed. So in the 70 days is the maximum parole that you can take in 1 calendar year, and 21 days of furlough, which he has already exhausted last year. In this calendar year, he has already taken 40 days parole, and he's now going to be getting another 30 days parole he can take 30 days parole for the rest of the year. For many prisoners, even when they are allowed this amount of parole, they are not given. And that is where this whole point comes in, that the Haryana government has been very liberal in granting parole, though he's, as far as the rules are concerned, he's not breaking any rules. When he was given the furlough last year in February ahead of the assembly elections, it was challenging the High Court on the basis of what the Act says, that hardcore criminals cannot be given furlough or parole up to a certain period of their sentence. But he won the case in the High Court, and the High Court upheld the furlough, that he was not a hardcore criminal as has been defined in that Act, and so his furlough was correct. What he can do during the furlough period, what this whole image of his cutting a cake has gone viral. What he can do and what he cannot do during a furlough period. He's a god man. He's a guru. He has a huge following. Whether doing the satsang is correct or not, whether cutting a cake like that is correct or not, whether singing, in fact, before the birthday cake for his guru, that is his guru Shah Satnamji, whose birth anniversary, the celebrations are ending today. Today is 25th. And so as part of that, what he can do and what he can't do is a gray area. That during a parole period, what can a criminal do? So that...
question is different here. See, how many prisoners get that kind of treatment? Whenever you seek parole, you get it. So, and look at the coincidence. In January, he is granted furlough, just before Punjab Assembly elections. In June, he is granted a month-long parole. That was before the civic polls in Haryana and Sangrur bypoll, Lok Sabha bypoll in Punjab.
Punjab.
Then he gets another parole in October. That is before Haryana Panchayat elections and Adhampur Assembly bypoll. Look at the frequency of it. Dr. Pramod Kumar, do you see anything in this coincidence? Is he getting a special treatment? And what did it tell us about politics in Punjab and Haryana? And in fact, Indian politics, when a rape and murder convict is getting that kind of treatment. And look at his cake cutting event yesterday. You had some very senior BJP leaders. One BJP MP was present there. One former BJP minister was present there. When he was holding a virtual satsang in October, I think Karnal Mayor was there to seek his blessings. What does it tell us about our politics?
First is that he is not an ordinary human being. We normally say, join Dera or politics and rise above the law. He is above law, accept it. And you are debating only whether he's getting parole or not. I mean, that's for me, I mean, it's the obvious thing that he will get all these because he's a Baba. And how come the whole phenomena of these Deras and Babas have become so powerful? That is the issue which one must understand. And I first start with this Dera Sacha Sauda, which was founded by Shah Mastan of Balochistan in 1948. And the person whom we are discussing, Gurmeet Ram Rahim, took charge at the age of 23 in the year 1990. This young Dera Sacha Sauda chief, in a way, reinvented Deras in this region. There were Deras, historically they were present, but this man reinvented it. And what was the reinvention? That he evolved from a simple preacher to a rock star. Baba, shrewd power broker, techno-savvy media manager, and appropriator of commodity market. Now look at the kind of things he has been doing. Such a wide range, from preacher to rock star to shrewd power broker to techno-savvy, person. He traded with a blind spot of more than 1 million followers in retail commodity market, power politics, and entertainment industry. He used cinema to build, his image larger than his life. He also started online business with more than 150 products to enrich Dera's coffers. So here, look at the way, he's operating. He reinvented the Dera culture in new market-driven economy. He was totally, into the new techno-savvy, the Manmohan Singh's model of a liberalization of economy. He's much beneficiary of that economy. And imagine that he produced around, a number of films. For example, The Messenger 1, Messenger 2, The Warrior Lionheart, Hind Ka Napak, Jawab, Jetu Engineer, Jatu Engineer. These films were box office hit. So he produced movies, he entertained people, he opened up in his own Walmart kind of a thing where he marketed 150 products. It's a market-driven economy. He has his own currency also, which was available in the local, places where his shops were there. Look at the man here, and you are saying that he got the parole. Why lament it? Look at the range of his activities. Now the question arises, how come these Deras enjoy such kind of mass support? Because what they do is, basically, they trade the blind faith of their followers. But how come the blind faith gets built up? That's the basic question. And the blind faith is built up because these mediators, they liberate their devotees from the vices like drugs, wife beating, drunkenness, efficient delivery of food, access to the health facilities, which your government is unable to do. So when people see that he is performing more efficient function than even government, then they will have better faith in Babas rather than their political leaders. If Baba says, vote for that particular leader, they will vote. Because then they vote on the basis of their faith, not on the basis of the conscience. And the conscience tells you that these leaders are inefficient, they are corrupt. Here is a Baba who is giving them everything. Even in their own sphere, even inter-caste marriages happen in these Deras. So he is basically, they follow the inclusive kind of politics. Basically, there you have caste is no distinction. And these people are basically, if I may say, deras are the poor cousins of institutionalized religion. So they're a poor cousin, no doubt, but here, because they represent the Spartans, they represent the poor, Dalits, they represent the poor people there. And these people, those who are subsisting on the margin of economy and caste system, immediately find a dignified space to trade their faith. And that is why they acquire power. And now, in a practical sense, if I may tell you, these deras in Punjab and even in Haryana, they have, if I may tell you, sport in Punjab, I can tell you very clearly, in 56 constituencies, they have a sport base. And it is not only of this one dera, there are 6 major deras which function in this region, Punjab and Haryana. Otherwise, there are more than 3,000. I can very well, vouch for that. But 6 main, Radha Swami's, Namdhari's, Dera Sacha Sauda, Noor Mahal, Narankari's, Dera Sachkhand Ballan, and even your Prime Minister visited, Radha Swami Dera in the near future. He went there. And such a great man, who powerful man, has to visit this Radha Swami Dera. So all political leaders go there to these deras in one way or the other. And Ram Rahim became popular because he was multitasking. He was doing a number of things. Otherwise, all deras are doing almost the same thing. And now, the basic point is that they have also have the discourses drawn from multiple traditions like Islam, Sufism, Kabir, Christianity, Sikhism, and they couch them in the regional dialects. Bits and the symbols are regional, so they can attract much more, connect with the more followers in a very big way, which others can't do it. Now, I normally give the example that in a classroom, students don't come to the class when you teach them the scientific methods to understand reality, but they go to these deras, they sit there, listen to that discourse, which is half-baked, half science, they listen to it, and they follow it and come out. In the classes, they don't go in the formal education. Why? Because they give them a holistic knowledge, half-baked, half scientific. They even tell you that if you have stomachache, take this churn. And if you don't do business with your relative, you can't tell this thing in a business class, in an MBA class, that don't do your business with your relatives. But they tell you that, and people find it very appealing. They connect with that. Oh, he's telling us the reality. So somehow, I think they are function, because of the inadequacy of our education system, because of our politics becoming discredited, because social vices we are unable to, find through social reform movements, and also in other religious, institutionalized religion, they don't find much space to function. So people go there. So that is why deras are multiplying. And this is somehow accidentally that this man has been caught and convicted. Otherwise, many deras are doing the same kind of thing, but they were not convicted. This is a chance. Few are convicted, few are not. But the followers think that he's a victim of conspiracy. They don't believe that he has committed these sins. Either they were trapped or they are victim of they don't believe it. Because they don't have faith in judiciary, they don't have faith in markets, they don't have faith in political leadership, but they have faith in Baba. So here is a much more serious problem which we are trying to address. The problem is that how, to give our people holistic knowledge, they can see difference between science and non-science, knowledge and no knowledge, but we don't do that. We only, comment on whether he's getting the parole or not, then some other Baba will come. And then every day multiplying Babas. Many even good teacher wants to become Babas because they find, it's a good space, to function in. So you have made it so attractive, this space, and you have no alternate movement. Your political class is still not trying to find the alternatives. They just go there, legitimize them, justify them, provide them, all the kind of support. Then how can you build alternate spaces? So my, main issue is alternate spaces have to be built, and media should be debating, and many of us should be debating why we are unable to create those alternate spaces. That is the real issue. So that I find, it explains many of the things which are happening in our society, which we must look into.
There's so many deras in Haryana you have spoken of. How are they politically aligned? And I know Dr. Pramod Kumar, I met you before the Punjab Assembly election. I know how closely you watch Punjab politics. You keep doing surveys before elections, post elections. So you know what's happening on the ground. How are these deras aligned politically?
Aligned with the?
with different political parties. Say, for instance, Dera Sacha Sauda, I'm given to understand that it was with the Congress in 2002 and 2007 elections. Then it shifted its allegiance. I think before 2014, it supported BJP. I don't know. I just want to understand their political allegiance and how they keep changing.
No, when I mentioned that this Dera chief, Sacha Sauda, he reinvented politics also. He's the first person who took a stand in favor of, in 2007 for the Congress. By 2012, he shifted to Akalis, and then later on with BJP and Akalis. I mean, he has been taking positions. But all other Deras leave the option to the local leaders. In some constituencies, they support the Congress. In other constituencies, they support the Akalis. And the third, they support BJP. So it is constituency-oriented interventions are made by other Deras. Therefore, they remain safe from the onslaught of other political party, the competing political party. But this Sacha Sauda person took the position, I mean, in 2007. And that, I mean, created a new kind of system in Indian politics. But other Deras don't follow this tradition. They support individual candidates in different constituencies. They do that. They issue their dictatorship. And also, he has a very innovative way of sending the messages down on the last day of the polling that whom their people should vote. So this man, in a way, is a innovator, inventor, and he invented a new form of political interventions. But other Deras also do it, but little more they camouflage it in terms of not supporting A party or B party or C party. They support individuals. And today, in today's politics, when individuals also have no boundaries, today you are in BJP, tomorrow you are in Congress, and third day you are again back to BJP and then go to Akalis. So if leaders are doing that, why a Dera should risk it, I mean, supporting the party? Because their leader can be anywhere. So today political parties have no boundaries, they have become dharmshalas. So leaders, I mean, also understand, the Babas also understand these dharmshalas, no fun supporting it, support the individuals. Because individual can land anywhere. And he is a guarantee and they ensure, I mean, their support. That is why with Dera Sacha Sauda, you also find now even the congressmen, even the Akalis, even the BJP, everybody goes there. Because they are supporting individuals now. And these dharmshalas are without doors and without windows. Anybody can go this way, that way, these political parties. So therefore, I mean, the sport, it has become much easier for these Deras now, without taking in favor of any political party, you can support individuals and still draw the same like the corporates do. Corporates, I mean, do that, they support 30 MPs in parliament belonging to different political parties. So Deras have also become corporate in their approach to support the political party. So they have corporatized their political support rather than merely keeping it traditional, primitive. So they have also become corporatized. So that is also the change coming with the market. So they understand the logic of the market and they do that. So in Punjab and Haryana, it is there in other states also. For example, in Himachal Pradesh, also, I mean, this kind of phenomena is emerging. But basic question is how people are becoming so fatalistic, so, I mean, blind, I mean, supporters or have a blind faith in these Babas. It's much more serious question than merely these Babas are appropriating or trading their faith in politics for vote, through votes, or in, I mean, market by selling them certain products, or, I mean, showing them certain movies which may be nonsense, but they appreciate it. So it is, I mean, I basically think it's somewhere more social. It's something, I mean, more relates to, I mean, what kind of consciousness we are producing amongst our people. That is a serious issue which we must look at.
So who are the followers? I mean, can you profile these followers of, say, of Dera Sacha Sauda? Is it just Dalits? Is it confined to certain communities, or it's more general and, you know, across sections?
Otherwise, no, number one, for Dera Sacha Sauda, it is in the Punjab Malwa region. They have major support, the southern Punjab, and then they're largely, I mean, the Dalits. They support it, but also the lower middle class farmers, the small margin farmers also have started going in there. So it is basically because somewhere, I mean, they get you respite, I mean, give you health access, they give you food, they give you, I mean, for example, you can marry, I mean, without dowry. All these kind of social vices, when they find the answer, then caste doesn't remain a barrier. But largely, I mean, it's the Dalits and the poor, those who go to these deras. But since they go there, and the people, those who want to trade with the numbers in the election, they also start going there. Because if a politician goes there, then he will connect with those followers, and they want vote of the poor. Because in our country, 70 and 80% of the poor people vote. And the government is formed by people like you and me and Chitleen also. So they form the government. So middle classes, I mean, form the government, appropriate the government power, and poor people vote. So if you need the vote, you have to go to the deras. So it is a very good combine, I mean, which emerges. And then also this some kind of who will going to make profit, and they also guide them. And then business connection they build up. And they get some people licenses for liquor trade, or some people getting other licenses. So it become a good, it's a market also, I mean, they bring in. So it's a different association. It's just like a golf club. You play a game of golf with one day with one businessman, and next day another one, I mean, have a license, I mean, from a bureaucrat. I mean, you do that. So they are also doing the same thing. And I find very interesting that it's a space which they have created where they trade faith, where they trade, I mean, market, I mean, rules and the norms, where they trade businesses, where they also offer jobs. People do get jobs, and matrimonial alliances also. So it's a holistic space. And this space you don't find, I mean, everywhere. This is one space where you get, I mean, social linkages, political linkages, market linkages, licenses, jobs. They facilitate. They are the big facilitator, mediators. So it's a good mediator. For example, now we have started creating in other spheres also mediators. The people, those who mediate, I mean, making certain other people meet with each other. So they do that job, and they do it efficiently. So somewhere I think it's something if one has to look into that. One is a faith, and second is that it has returns involved into it. Everybody feels win-win situation, and so it's going on. So it has in and Punjab, why Haryana? Because we have an oral tradition. We don't have a very strong tradition of interacting with the text. Whereas in the south, you may find, I mean, in the Bengal particularly, you interact with the text. You read, I mean, here we don't read. We only listen to sermons, discourses. That is why we have a very strong tradition of gurus. And we listen to oral tradition. You go and listen, and we don't read, we don't check, I mean, facts from the text. So we are not very text savvy people. So that is also another, go and listen to sermons and wash your guilt, and you are off with the same old routine and do your job. So we are very comfortable people with it. We don't want to put into ourselves, I mean, go into the text, read it, verify knowledge. I mean, if some Baba is saying that, we believe it. So that is also part of our historical knowledge, which comes from oral tradition rather than from interaction with the text.
Very interesting question from one of our subscribers, Priyanka Upadhyay. The question is, if the BJP is able to encash Ram Rahim in Haryana election, why is it that the BJP is so stagnant in Punjab in both Lok Sabha as well as Assembly elections with the same strategy?
I think, I mean, one that Dera's relevance is overestimated. This one must know. They can make a difference if the margins are less. If you are in a competing domain, then Deras make a difference. Deras cannot, I mean, make you win an election. Because I'll give you example. For example, Batinda constituency in Punjab have total around more than 10 lakhs voters. And the vote base of Sacha Sauda will not exceed more than 1,10,000 votes. But if the contest is, I mean, very rigorous, then they can make a difference. So Dera can make a difference, but they can't make a win, construct a win for a particular party. So BJP doesn't win. BJP has a Hindutva in their sport. BJP has in their sport, I mean, their own ideology. So Deras are just a salt, I mean, put into the somewhere, I mean, small kind of a thing, I mean, to put spice into their electoral machine. So they don't depend upon, I mean, for their victory only on Deras. The same way they mobilize, I mean, some subcastes, the same way they're mobilizing the professional organization. So Dera is one component. Let's not think that Deras, I mean, decide which government shall be formed. It doesn't happen like that. But they can make a difference if the contest is very rigorous. For example, in Himachal, if the seat difference would have been 2-3, then any government would have formed. So Dera could have made a difference by getting them 2 more seats or 1 more seat. So that is the issue. And 1% vote share, a 2% vote share shift can make you, win an election. It happens. So in that sense, Deras are important. Not that they can make you win the election on their own. That's not possible.
So I'm just curious, how are the Deras engaging with the new ruling party in Punjab, the Aam Aadmi Party?
The question is otherwise. How Aam Aadmi Party is engaging with the Deras?
Yeah.
That's the issue. And Aam Aadmi Party is one party which is to their advantage. They don't have historical roots. They have no ideological boundaries. They are free-wheeling party. So they can engage with anyone. They can engage with Dera. They can engage with the Hindu temple. They can visit. They can go to Gurdwara. So it's a party, which doesn't have any well-defined ideology. So it's a fluid kind of party structure, and which can, engage with the Deras if need be. And if they find, the need for some temple in Jalandhar, and they will go and have Jagrata there. And if they find no, they need Gurdwara somewhere, they will go to Gurdwara. So Aam Aadmi Party is a unique experiment which does not have any clear ideology, no historical baggage, and can move anyway and anywhere. It's a fluid, it's a water. It can go anywhere. So that is why, they can say secular, they can remain anything. So in that sense, I find they don't have much boundaries defined for themselves. For example, today in Indian politics, earlier we used to have secularism as the core of Indian politics. Now it's Hindutva. Either I am a soft Hindutva, or I am a hardcore Hindutva, or I am a non-Hindutva, or I am anti-Hindutva. Now this is the whole discourse revolved around. And Aam Aadmi Party is soft Hindutva like Congress. So they are also into the also they no need to get into the secular mode. So all parties are now in a comfortable situation to have some kind of and then in Hinduism the tradition is so great, either you become Shiv Bhakt or Ganesh Bhakt, or you have so many options, and you become soft. So that is why I find that all these parties, Aam Aadmi Party is very comfortable. They will soft Hindutva, they can use it and then appeal other to competing other religions also. They can go and quote have some kind of negotiation with them. They can get away with it. So I don't think there is much problem to Aam Aadmi Party.
DK, I wanted to DK.
Yeah, yes, Chitleen.
I wanted to ask Dr. Pramod one question. Now, it's very interesting that the manner in which the BJP engages with the Dera Sacha Sauda in Haryana is very different from how probably they will engage with the Dera Sacha Sauda in Punjab. Because a large part, basically the Sikh vote bank in Punjab is aligned against the Dera Sacha Sauda. So the Dera Sacha Sauda is seen as a absolutely hated set of people. We had the killing of the Dera chiefs, the follower of the Dera in November, and so there is a big difference that when they were together, when the BJP and the Shiromani Akali Dal were together. So the Dera had announced support for them in 2012, then in 2017. Now when they have parted ways, so I want to know from Dr. Pramod Kumar how not Haryana, but how the BJP is going to benefit, or how they will engage with this Dera now. And second, the Radha Swami chief met Narendra Modi ji in just ahead of the elections, I think in February, and then Amit Shah came to Radha Swami Dera in before the elections, and now we had another meeting between the Prime Minister and the Radha Swami chief. So is the BJP shifting from Dera Sacha Sauda to the Radha Swami chief?
No, it's a very, very intelligent question, because the way the BJP is structuring itself, and if they want to remain some kind of have acceptability in the larger Sikh politics, Sikh political spectrum, they cannot go nearer to Dera. They may like to have their support by being that we haven't approached them, they are just supporting us. So it may be a backroom kind of activity. They cannot have a front activity. That's, I mean, very valid question, because it will be very difficult for them, the kind of position they have taken now. They are trying to mobilize and appeal to the larger Sikh, Sikh, politics. Within that, Dera is today, something, which is antidote, and they may not be able to garner votes. So far, the other Deras are concerned. That is why the outreach is much more serious with Dera Bala, Ravidasiyas, and also with Radha Swamis and also other Deras. So they are trying to capture the whole spectrum of Deras rather than merely confining to Sacha Sauda in Punjab. And that may not, give them the kind of results they're looking for. The moment they go overboard with them, the Jat Sikh vote will get consolidated and vote the other side. They will not, go with the BJP. So I don't think, you are perfectly right that for them it's a dilemma, but they have to have some kind of backroom deal rather than the front. In Haryana, they can do that, but in Punjab, they may find it very difficult to go along with Dera Sacha.
Probably the BJP is not even looking at the Jat Sikh vote bank. There are so many other stakeholders.
This is, I think, you can make this point clear to BJP. They should not look for Jat vote bank only, which anyhow they are doing, because most of the people they are having in the Congress, they are dropouts of the Congress. They are dumping them into the BJP, and if they are not, and you must, reach out to them and tell them, you should not look for Jat votes only. Punjab has other Hindus also, Dalits also. Of course, Sikhs, which are non-Jats also, Kambos and others. So Punjab is in a way multicultural, and you cannot, have exclusively Jat vote bank. And if you have that, only Jat vote bank is already divided into three. 21% vote bank. Anybody who is only get support of the Jat, they will not exceed more than 7-8% vote share. So there they have to have, which I normally say, that Hindus and Dalits decide who will be their Jat chief minister. So it is not the Jat who decides. So it is the Hindus and the Dalits. If you are ignoring them, if you don't, bring them into your political discourse, because you have to have an agenda which should appeal, to the cross section of people. You cannot have agenda in Punjab which only appeal to one section. Because Punjabi Hindu can be anything, but he is not in Hindutva. He has never gone to Ram Janambhoomi. He looks towards Chumanda Devi, he goes to temples, he goes to Gurdwara, but he is not Hindutva the way, other in UP and Bihar, you find people are. So Punjabi Hindu is also a very 50%, he is a Sikh, 20, another 25% Arya Samaji, another 25% Sanatani. It's a new commodity. So this commodity cannot be dealt with as exclusivities. So they have, their consciousness is something different. It's not, just like any other conscience. Same with the Dalits. The Dalit in Punjab is not a Manuvadi Dalit. There was no purity and pollution in Punjab. So that is why Mayawati have to take shelter in UP. Otherwise, they would have gone for Mayawati. They didn't. So the Punjabi Dalit is also different. He, in a way, has flourished under Arya Samaj and Sikhism. So he is under that influence also. So it's a different kind of ball game, Punjab, and that is why you find Punjab responding in the election in a different way, just opposite to all other states. So it has to be. That is why this time, for example, Aam Aadmi Party, nobody knew that such great mandate will be given to Aam Aadmi Party, thanks to Mr. Sidhu and others. But nevertheless, the Aam Aadmi Party could come. Nobody could predict it. So Punjabis, I don't think they can be seen as Hindu, Sikhs, or Dalit. They are not exclusive categories. In many ways, they are inclusive. So you cannot form those categories, and that is why in Dera represent that culture where you have inclusive categories, where you have Jats also, where you have Hindu also, where you have Dalits also. That is why Deras are flourishing more in Punjab soil, because it doesn't have boundaries defined on the basis of religion or caste. Punjab is a religious-caste society. It's neither religion nor caste. We don't have Brahmins. We have Brahmins. So we don't have Brahmins even in Punjab. So there is no, such kind of categories. I think Punjab is a different ballgame, and that is why Deras flourish, and that is why the topic which you have chosen is an apt topic, that Deras reflect in a way the whole Punjabi culture in their space. All the Deras, try to do that. So you find different, kind of sects present there, and that is what Punjab politics is all about.
So you were talking about the BJP. So let me ask you this very obvious question. What do you think are the prospects of the BJP in Punjab?
I think, history has witness to their prospects. When they used to fight election alone, till 1992, they used to get the vote share what they deserve, 7%, 6%, 8%. They have not gone beyond it. So if they fight election on their own in Punjab, even if bringing a very illustrious Jat Sikhs into their party, the vote share may remain the same. Because if you can't, if you are not developed that kind of organism, if you have only faces, but the faces have to have a connect, with the people. And that connect, comes to the culture, the traditions, and way, societies have developed. You cannot just, bring in few faces and say that now, so and so is there, vote for us. It doesn't happen like that. And secondly, BJP has to evolve some kind of their own symbols and agenda. You cannot borrow and the agenda of the dominant party and then say that we can out-compete them by adopting their agenda. It's not possible. And also, when they are opposed to AAP, actually they are facing challenge from AAP and they are fighting with the Akalis. I don't understand this strategy. So, challenge is from AAP and I am fighting with somebody else. So how can I succeed in Punjab? Unless,
Just adding to what Dr. Pramod just said, even in this parole issue, DK, you have to understand that I don't know how much benefit BJP will get in Haryana for the manner in which they are giving this parole or granting this parole to the Dera Sacha Sauda chief. But in Punjab, it has had a very bad or negative impact towards the BJP for the simple reason that, this whole Bandi Sikh issue is going on in Punjab, which you are already aware of, where, basically the Sikh bodies and the radical Sikh bodies are demanding that the Bandi Sikhs or the people, militants who have been in jail for, one of them is in jail for 32 years. And some of them are in jail for 25 plus years. And some of them have not even been granted parole once. Not even once. So, this whole issue has become it's snowballed into a major political issue in Punjab. So now the moment you give, and the Dera Sacha Sauda chief is seen as a complete, somebody whom the Sikh community hates, and you give him parole after parole after parole. So basically, even if when the BJP tries to go and paint a picture that it's doing a lot for the Sikhs, and there is a huge sustained and organized effort to try and tell Punjab Sikhs that, the Prime Minister is a very pro-Sikh person and a lot of efforts are being done for the Sikhs in Punjab. One such move actually takes them back several steps.
I agree with them in Chitleen on this. It's a very valid point.
Dr. Pramod, you have been talking about this complete transactional relationship between the political class and the Deras, and Dera chiefs like Gurmeet Ram Rahim Singh. Before you wind up, I want to understand, where do you see their influence going from here? Is it going to go up further? Are they going to be more influential in future? Or do you see this entire trend kind of, tapering off after a few years?
I think that their influence may further get multiplied because Dera sap the people's spirit to protest. They give them some hope. If crises become more deeper, the economic crisis, your unemployment is rising, all those vices are increasing, Deras act like a sap. It provides some kind of outlet to them. So political class will definitely need such kind of institutions so that there may not be major protest movements or there may not be violent movements. So Deras, in that sense, provide that kind of relief to the political class. So I see, that such kind of escape routes and such kind of sapping the spirit of protest will be nurtured. They will continue to remain and they are needed. When the crisis, is coming from somewhere and you are not trying to answer that crisis directly, you are only trying to use ideologies of different kind to divert people's attentions from the real issue to other issues. All the political class, I am not saying one, All the political class is doing that. So in that class, Dera also fits in. They are also doing the same thing. That my crisis is that I am unable to afford my health facility. I can't afford my food. So Dera gives me something. It's some kind of a sap they give me. So I'm very happy. So somewhere, I mean, these Deras have a space which will, I think, which will multiply unless, I mean, we are able to productively engage our youth, productively engage our population, and also, I mean, engage them into various new scientific way of looking at phenomena. Unless we do that, I think Deras have a space and they will multiply further.
On that note, we have to wind up this discussion. Thank you very much, Dr. Pramod Kumar, for sharing a valuable insight with us. Thank you, Chitleen.
Thank you.
Thank you.